Okay, Stephanie, working over break. Me too, then. I'm game. Let's do this. Okay, so you've got your designer's contract now. I'm not real sure where you got the template for this, but there's a few things I want to mention. I think a lot of them are really going to make sense once I give you some scenarios to go along with the some of the things I'm going to say about contracts. Now, you have your designer contract, you have your client listed, you have your primary contract. Now, I would go ahead and say that try to get as much contact information as you can from your client, including fax machines, addresses, URLs, etc., etc. I don't think I would take on a client if I was only given a Gmail address to reach that client. And you'll see what I mean once you start getting into doing some more contracts. I've been burned before, so I'm really super careful. I haven't been burned in a lot of years, but back when I first started as a designer, I got burned before. So my contracts are just rock solid. And that's one of the things that I think I would look at. Project information collateral, I would be as complete on this as possible. Specifically mentioning your informational collateral, which I think is in a brochure, 8.5 by 11 trifold, I believe, or something like that. But at any rate, yes, I would definitely. Now I know you're getting into it here, but even in your summary, I would get a little bit more specific with that. Your dates, good job. Fees, information collateral, 8.5 by 11 project includes 200 copies is not going to be enough for your trade show booth. I would think that you would probably have 200 people coming through an hour to your trade show booth. So I definitely think that 200 is pretty low there. You got your materials. Your agency will provide. Now, that's not clear right there. And I even looked at this a few times before I figured out the agency is you. So try to be clear. You didn't call yourself the agency before. So make sure that you really designate that in your introduction here. Okay, and then over here you say one final output proofs camera ready art provided on disk. I'm not exactly sure what that means, but I thought that you were providing everything for, see what I mean? Again, this is just, it's not clear to me. If it's not clear to me, it's not going to be clear to your client. So, and I've got some remedies for this, so don't fret. I'll show you what to do. Any additional work will be billed as needed based on an estimate that information collateral should be billed at. See, again, I'm not real sure what this is saying. Is this saying that this isn't an estimate? This is an actual contract. So, are you saying that it's billed between $800 and $1,500? The estimate that an information collateral should be billed. Yeah, I'm not following that. Okay, and then it looks like the rest is kind of boilerplate stuff. So let me just show you what I think is the best example of a contract to use in this class. And I wouldn't mind if you were to redo your contract. This is a really brief one, but it's right down here, tucked under here. This is client contract writing guidelines right under here. Well, let me move that so you can see it. Client contract writing guidelines. And if you go down here, it's tucked way down there, but that's it. And that's a wonderful this is a you can even use this. You can download this and use it for yourself. But check this out. So you have contact information, client contact name, business name, city, state, zip code, blah, 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 phones, faxes, emails. Project description. Make it pretty detailed. Okay, estimated cost. You have your labor, your materials, and your total. Simple as can be, right? Project estimates are good for 90 days. Payment schedule. Okay, there's your payment schedule. Just kind of really briefly, very, very direct. The one thing that your contract is missing, and this is probably the most important thing that you can include in any contract, is the rights upon the reproduction of work. So you can do one of three things. You can give the client full reproduction rights, you can give the client one-time reproduction rights, or you can retain reproduction rights. That should definitely be stated in every contract. Every contract. It's very, very important. This is going to save you from things like, okay, let's say you design design a logo for a company and you give them one-time reproduction rights, which means you can use the logo. Let's say you say, I'm going to design your business card, and you give them one-time reproduction rights. So you give them their logo with their business card, All right. And you say one-time reproduction rights, which they get to use it on their business card, right? But then 2 months later, you turn around and say, and you see their logo on the side of a building or in a brochure or something. And you say, wait a second, I designed that logo, but I never gave them rights. Well, in your contract, you will have that. It's cut and dry. You gave them one-time reproduction rights. They've used it again. They are now in breach of contract, and you are able to collect what is rightfully yours. Okay, does that make sense? Without doing that, it leaves it wide open. So again, 3 things. Either full reproduction, client gets full reproduction rights, which means they get to do whatever they want with the work from here on out. Once you get paid, you're out. The client has one-time reproduction rights, which means you decide what you can use this for. Okay, so you could give one-time reproduction rights for this whole series of designs that you're doing and say it's usable for one trade show only. Okay, and then if they want to use it for another trade show down the line, they would have to pay you again. Or you relinquish all rights, okay? Or you keep all rights, which means they can't do anything without going through you, okay? Now, you have said, wait, what did you say in your contract? Oh, one thing that was really curious, ownership. Designer retains all ownership of all original artwork, whether preliminary. Okay, so you're saying if you retain ownership of all original artwork, are you saying here that you keep the trade show when they're done with it? Oh, I see, a specific design. Okay, so that's okay. I mean, it's kind of saying, but in a very, very convoluted way, it's kind of saying the same thing here. But the reason I like this is because this is cut and dry. This won't even make it to a judge. I mean, you'll collect, you'll cease and desist, whatever you want. If you have a contract like this, it's ironclad. I mean, you can't. These 4 check marks right here are really the holy grail of a reproduction of work. Okay, sorry to beat that in the ground like a dead horse, but it's that important. Okay, so rejection cancellation, that's called a kill fee. And that means that if you get halfway through a project and your client says, hey, I'm out, I ran out of money or whatever, you got a kill fee. So that means you owe me X amount of money because I did this much work, okay? Completion, delivery, acceptance of agreement, and then your signatures. So again, it's just such a really, really great contract. I'd like to see you at least just jump through here and just fill it out just so I can see that you kind of know what you're looking at. All right? Good job. Thank you.